Greetings, YouTube. Danny Staten here on the Daily Dan Blog. I'm back with another comic book review. I wish I was reviewing one of these really cool Kolchak the Night Stalker comics. You know, Kolchak fought Dracula and vampires once too. But no, I'm not doing that. I'm doing a dismal nightmare. Remember last week, if you're one of the 9 people that actually watched the video, where I took on the ghost of Dracula, that's right, the black and white dismal comic book from eternity, Ghost of Dracula. Be sure to check out that review. It's up here on the Daily Dan blog. This comic book was so bad, it inspired me to call up my friend Thrash Bondo Pons and Sarah, and we decided to do the Dracula Sucks live stream Sunday. Be sure to check that out. I'll share that on the community post where Tug the Unapologetic Geek, you know, the guy that wrote that book over there, and Tracy Rothmeyer joined us. It was a great live stream, and I recommend everybody checks it out if you want to find out what vampires sucked. That's what we covered. But today, speaking of vampires that suck, today Daily Dan takes on The Blood of Dracula. Dracula, number 3 from Apple Comics. Yeah, I saw that cool title, Blood of Dracula, and I was thinking Christopher Lee movie, Blood of Dracula. Then I saw the cover, and I figured he looked like a rat-faced a Spanish Dracula from that really old movie. I didn't know if this was going to be the good stuff or not. I tried to shoot this video once already and had camera issues. It froze up for some reason, and I had used a lot of profanity, so I'm kind of glad it froze up and I got a second chance not to use so many bad words. Maybe somebody will actually watch this video. So let's bust it open, take a look inside The Blood of Dracula, and see how dismally horrible it actually is. The minute I opened this piece of dismal garbage up, I knew I was doomed when I saw the wonderful black and white art staring out at me. Now, the art's okay. It's really drawn good, just like the last one. They draw these black and white comics really well. Here's the people you can either congratulate on their fine art or criticize for not coloring it in. But I'm not a fan of black and white art. Here you get the story. Shortly after the middle of the 19th century, Dracula, not yet the subject of Stoker's novel, stalks the homeland, but Bavania. We'll call it Transylvania because I'm not going to say Butvania. Anyway, in episode 3, because we didn't get to start from the beginning of this story, thank God, this guy's all upset because Dracula went chomp, chomp, chomp on his girl. It's all your fault, dude. You should have guarded her better. So in full black and white, hard to see, dismal panels. Brought to you by the Daily Dan blog. We get the story of young Gunther here. Young Gunther, I think I called him Scuttles in the last one. What is his name? Scuttles. Yeah, his name's Scuttles. Young Scuttles here. He's all upset because his mama, his wife, his dad, and his grandpa all got ate by Dracula. Dracula's won't need him now as Dracula chases him through the forest, through the woods. Dracula transforms into the big wolf dog to get up on him faster, but he smack it away with a stick. Now Dracula just got smacked away with a stick. What a wuss Dracula already. So in full panels, brought to you by the Daily Dan blog again. You see, Dracula be the king of all wusses. He chases young Scuttles, but suddenly he transforms back into a human. Something's wrong with Dracula. Dracula has a problem. He goes, what a horrible sound Dracula made in a comic book. And he realized he was standing in a field of garlic. Oh my God, I'm in a field of garlic. No, not a field of garlic. Yeah, a field of garlic. Now, I don't know about Butvania, this place is supposed to be taking place, but around the Transylvania Carpathian Mountains where Dracula lived, I want to know, did garlic grow wild in the field? Were they fields of garlic? Or maybe somebody just planted them there because now there's a field of crosses encircling the field of garlic. And a little bit further down, he finds a hall of mirrors. Yes, it's true. A hall of mirrors. He has found the one place on earth that is Dracula-proof. As he comes to a cabin in the woods. Oh, that always works out so good, don't it? Yeah, this cabin in the woods, surrounded by crosses, mirrors, and garlic. He screams, "Ahoy there, my friend!" And the door creeps open, and Bella the gypsy, with his one-eyed Bella the gypsy, says, "Greetings. I bid you welcome. Welcome, my friend." And he runs in and says, "You know about the vampires?" And he says, "Yes, I know about the vampires, obviously. Did you not see the mirrors, the crosses, and the garlic, you idiot?" I swear to God, I hate this comic book. I turned the page. Douche. And then we flash back to a jail where a Renfield wannabe has broken out. The bars seem to be jerked out from the outside. Remember, this takes place before Bram Stoker's Dracula, the novel thing. So, yeah, we're doing a fake Renfield, whole thing repeating itself in the past in Butvania. And now we get to be continued. And when I saw to be continued, I thought we were going to take a little time to talk about the Dead-torial. You know, I remember a young Dracula back in 1960. What the frick? Yeah, you get that. You could have wrote a letter. Here's the address. Yeah, and I thought that was going to be it. But you know what happened next? Let me do it again. Another story started somewhere in Chicago. Somewhere in Chicago in 1925, Dracula stalks a widget. So once again, in full panels, brought to you by the Daddy Damn Blog. What the hell? I guess we're going to get 3 different stories, 3 little parts of Dracula stories in this comic book. Every time you pick up a comic book, you get the next 3 little, oh my God, it's cliffhangers, Dracula style. Anyway, Dracula's out stalking a victim in Chicago in 1925, and of course the first one he grabs is this widget-looking lady, like one of them 1920s beboppers. But of course, there's a horrible plague of bloodsucker deaths going around town before Dracula ever arrived. And you know what that means? When Dracula grabbed a girl and got ready to put the bite on him, she kicked his butt, because in this comic book, Dracula is the ultimate puss. I swear, Dracula gets his butt kicked in his comic book so much. This chick kicks his butt and throws him a business card. He follows her on down to Sam's place, tweet, tweet. Yeah, that's right. It's a vampire hangout right in the middle of Chicago, where everybody's got darn hanging out, smoking it up, drinking some blood, eating the military. What a wonderful place. So I guess Dracula's a damn old revenuer in this one. He's trying to track down somebody making some moonshine. The moonshine only has one bad effect. If anybody drinks it, and then a vampire bites him, the vampire gets really sick and almost dies. What? They're making moonshine with a garlic base. Of course they are, because it's Chicago. He's tracking it down. He says, who makes it? And he kills the guy. What? He makes the guy tell him where the moonshine guy is, and then he eats him. Oh my God, Dracula heads up to the hills. Dracula in search of the moonshiner. Dracula making payoffs to people, because vampires often pay people off to track down moonshiners and then eat them and take your money back, because that's what you do. It took him a long time, but Dracula finally traced down the moonshiner. The moonshiner who was making the garlic moonshine. The kind that hurts old vampires, right? Oh, what a hard-to-follow story. I make the moonshine that kill you suckers. Well, Dracula says, I can't have you making shine that hurts the vampire kind, he says. Well, it ain't really got no choice as the guy transforms into a werewolf, shocking Dracula. Now it's battle of the werewolf versus the vampire. Dracula versus another Wolfman moonshiner. The worst Wolfman that I've ever seen in a comic book, by the way. He looks like a freaking furry. Oh my God, I hate this comic book with a passion, as the furry Wolfman battles Dracula with a bat. Is this that guy? Is this guy from that Stephen King movie? Does this guy turn out to be a preacher and into this? Oh, jeez. Anyway, a big fight goes on. Dracula wins. Dracula dumps the shine. People are upset. And if you think I'm making this shit up, I swear to you I'm not. Turn the page. Dracula, $21.99. It's another story. Y'all, good God. And this'll be a good time to say. Be sure to check out Dave Sunstorm and his incredible brother Steven Sunstorm here on YouTube. The good stuff, guys. Yeah, I'm going to do some shout outs. Be sure to check out the Golden Ranger TV right here on YouTube. My friend Pat McCormick, as well as Trash Pondo Ponds, where you can see our incredible show from Sunday where Dracula sucks. Dracula sucks. Dracula sucks. And now I'm doing Dracula Sucks comic books. Be sure to check out Brainbender's banner. You can see me there on Saturday nights. As I'm a part of her regular panel, be sure to check out my friend Corey. Corey's Comedy Channel, the only YouTube channel with business cards. Be sure to check out E. McGill, the unapologetic geek. He wrote that really cool book over there. Usually you'd see some Bigfoot Michigan Rob books over there for me to plug them, but I guess I sloughed that this week. So be sure to check out Bigfoot Michigan Rob, as well as My Flock Is Everywhere Sarah, the Nostalgic Pod Blast, Retro Nerd Girl, and the Life and Sad Endings channel, as well as be sure to join the hair metal revolution with my friend Eric. And with that shameless plug out of the way, we'll roll on to Dracula 2199. Dracula versus the Terminator, I like to call it. And it's probably another story from another comic book, as I'm beginning to believe Dracula really sucks. As I'm beginning to believe that Dracula, Blood of Dracula comics are collaboration stories from other horrible comic books. So, Info Panels brought to you by the Daily Damn Blog again for the last time. Dracula versus the Terminator. Smack, spook, block, crunch. That didn't take long, did it? So, disturbingly fast, Dracula crunches the Terminator and throws it right out the house. Dracula says, you're going to have to create a better robot than that if you want to kick my blood-sucking ass. So apparently in 2199, there's lots of robots running around. Dracula ain't happy with it because he can't suck the juice out of a robot. And the world is hiding people underground as nuclear war happens sometime. And all the horrible stuff happened as the machine... This is turned into the fucking Terminator right here, boy. Look at that. The machines rose up. The machines took control. Humans have went underground. And now we're at war with the machine. So, in Full Panels, brought to you by the Daily Damn Blog, some jackass has ripped off the Terminator. Somebody has made the Terminators come after vampires. That's right, they created their own line of Terminators just to eradicate vampires. Now we get Dracula, the Eyes of Evil, versus robots. Oh my God, that might actually be a good story. Of course, if you want to see the good story, you'll have to buy the next comic book, because as soon as Dracula realizes the robot Terminator army is coming after him, well, then we get to be continued. And I got a feeling it's going to be continued in another comic book, because this is a dismal piece of shit. Oh, dang it, I said a cuss word. Anyway, G-Man by Ricky Shanklin, whatever the hell. Read this, Marone. Read this and send me a blame email telling me what it was about. I haven't got time to read it, and I don't feel like it. Yeah, I should have known. On sale next month from Apple Comics. You can find out the next exciting chapters of all these incredible stories you've just seen. I hope the people who wrote this burn in a lake of fire. The commercials are better than the stories, that's for sure. You get some really cool covers coming up. I'd like to have the covers, but I really don't want to check out the books. And you could have ordered them back in the day. And then you could have... I don't even know what warp graphics is. You could have ordered warp graphics, learned to do warp graphics, something warp graphics, what? And we're going to wrap it up this way, yep, with more Blood of Dracula, F-Quest, and the Myth Connection comic books. You need to really not check out none of these Apple comics. I think they all are going to suck as bad as the dismal piece of shit I just looked at today. Swear to God, they put a goddamn game on the back of this sucker. What the hell? Looks like one of BBB's My Brainbender's banners games. Find the goofy bastard in this picture. So that's my dismal look at the Blood of Dracula. You know, the one that has nothing to do with Christopher Lee like it could have been. We could have made the Blood of Dracula movie comic. Has some Christopher Lee-looking vampire rolled around in there since we had the title. But no! We got this piece of garbage. Well, Let me know in the comments below if you hate this book as much as I do. Let me know if you actually made it to the end. Wow, I bet you didn't. And until next time, Danny Staten on the Daddy Dan blog. I'll be back.